Hey everybody, Andrew back here with another point. So just a friendly reminder, you might want to turn your volume down a little bit because my mic's right by my face. Again, the whole reason I do that is to try and block out some of the surround sound. But yeah, so this video here, as you probably already read in the title, is going to be about visualization, okay? And so, visualization, it's a topic that I know pretty well, but it's not something that I have completely mastered. It's not something that very many people in the entire history of humanity has had mastered, because it's just such a touchy subject, such a difficult thing to prove scientifically, and it's basically just something that seems like it only works for certain people. And I'm going to touch why it is that visualization works for certain people, why it doesn't work for others, and certain other things about visualization. But the first thing that I want to say before I get into all that is that visualization, like I said, it's a topic that, I don't know to its every single depth. If I was on this mic right now talking about rapping, then I could give you a lot more ins and outs and whys and whens and, where to apply this certain technique kind of thing. But I can't really do that to a perfect extent with visualization. And as you've probably noticed, a lot of the videos that I make are kind of that way, where, I kind of know what it is that I'm talking about, but not to a perfect extent. So when you go and watch somebody else's video, about like personality types or something like that, they may break it apart in a certain kind of way that just makes it immediately make sense. But that's not really something that I can do with the topics that I speak about on this channel, because a lot of the topics that I'm speaking about, I'm really one of the first people, and I say first because there's a very limited amount of people before me who use these techniques, probably in under the 10% of all people, that have existed, that have explored these topics. And so the cool thing about that is that, due to the fact that I don't have these things completely mastered and I can only give you basically steps, you can then apply those steps to your life and figure out which parts of what I'm telling you is accurate and which parts are inaccurate as far as you're concerned. And then those things, then become true to you, and you're sitting in the same exact shoes that I'm sitting on, basically pioneering the understanding of visualization, or how it works, or whatever topic it may be that I'm talking about. And so, this whole channel is about getting you guys to see through a different perspective, to be more aware, and to kind of be part of this thing that I have going for myself. And, so that's just a description of why my videos are the way they are. But anyway, to get into the video, okay? Visualization, right? Now, when you think of visualization, what do you think of, Because whatever you just thought of when I said that, that's visualization right there. Anytime somebody says something to you and you picture it, that's visualization. So if I'm talking to you about the forest that I'm in and how the red oaks were really big and the trees were just, super wide, so wide that you could fit a car under them, you can almost visualize, you can picture that scenario, probably because you've seen it many times before or whatever, And so the interesting thing about visualization, right, is that there's a certain level of creativity that goes into it. And it's like, when you're visualizing something that you have already experienced, that's you have something in foundation, you have something to use. But when you're visualizing something like your own success, when you're visualizing something like light filling your body for meditation's sake, those kinds of things, you don't really have anything to go by. The only thing you have is your imagination and your own creativity. And so visualization and imagination go hand in hand, all right? So in order to understand what visualization is, you first have to understand what imagination is. And so imagination, right? Imagination is just letting your mind run wild, just to come up with whatever it wants to do, and just, letting it do whatever it wants to do. Basically, that's all imagination is. And so the interesting thing about imagination is creativity plays a part in it. Sorry, I feel so bad. I keep hiccuping on all my videos. But anyways, visualization has a lot to do with creativity, as I said before. And being an artist, I know a lot about creativity and the way that it functions. And so creativity, all right, it's like it just comes, and it's not really you. It's something else, because you are just you, and you just have what you know. All right, but creativity can step out of that box, tap into something completely unlimited and insanely resourceful, and then apply that to whatever it is that you're doing, okay? So one way to think of creativity, just being an artist again, is that you just kind of go with the flow. You're just imagining stuff, right? So say I'm writing a song about crossing a road or something like that. And so I'll just be talking about crossing a road. And a road, is very symbolic. It's a path. It's somewhere that you're trying to get to. It leads somewhere. And so due to the fact that paths are very symbolic, as I'm walking across this road, I can use my imagination and my creativity to kind of paint a certain kind of picture about the direction that I'm headed in my life, as far as crossing a road goes. And now, the things that I'm saying in that verse, in that song, they're going to be just kind of what I come up with at the moment, right? But the cool thing about it is that it's going to hit certain people in a completely different side of the world, going through completely different experiences than I'm going through, and it's going to hit them in a certain kind of perfect way, as if I was trying to do it. But obviously, like I just said, I was just playing around, just having fun using my imagination, and this came about, right? And so that's kind of imagination, all right? So now when you're visualizing something, and again, there's many things that you can use visualization for, whether it's creativity, visioning your own success, or just right now, just picturing you're in a mansion or something, or just like when you're at work, picturing you're not at work, but you're actually at a coffee shop, just having a good time, And so it's interesting because, sorry, I just realized I probably, with my creativity, hit somebody about that coffee shop freaking line, and their probably life's totally changed now. But anyways, where was I at? Yeah, there's lots of reasons to use visualization, right? But the thing about it is that the imagination and creativity that goes into it is gonna be absolutely perfect, okay? So if you believe, and that's the key word for visualization, if you believe that visualization works, and then you just imagine things in this kind of world of visualization, then they're going to happen in a certain kind of way in which not only do you believe it, but you basically convince your mind that it's actual fact, that it's real. And by convincing your mind that it's real, that it is actually fact, you're going to start living as if what you just visualized actually happened, as if it is really real. And so now if you go and tell somebody, hey, I just visualized the world blowing up, and now I feel like I live in an apocalypse and it's Nuketown, then they're going to be like, dude, get out of your freaking head. You're not in reality. All right. But the thing is that who are they to tell you what reality is? Right? Because reality is the way that it is right now because certain people in the past has seen the world a certain kind of way, visualized it a certain kind of way, and based on the ideas, things that they wanted to bring about and manifest into this world, they have created the world that we're in. So now if you want to create a world that's Armageddon with nukes dropping and just bombs everywhere and guns falling out of the sky, then if that's the world you live in, and you truly visualize it and act as if it's reality, and somebody tells you, no, that's not reality, then it's like, well, that's not the collective reality, but that's my reality. Okay, so the thing to understand about visualization is that you have the power to create your own reality with it, using it as a tool to create your own reality. And so now the reality that you create may not be the same reality that everybody else experiences, but it's going to be the reality that you experience. All right. And so is it real? What is real? You know? Does real mean that it can be scientifically proven? Because then, no, visualization isn't real. It can't really be scientifically proven. But in certain scenarios, visualization has been scientifically proven and it does work. So it's just like, you know, like I said, it's a topic that needs more exploration to be done. It needs another 100 more years or 200 or 300 or 3,000 more years of research to be put into it before we can fully understand it. And at that point, if we can have everybody in the world visualize the same reality and then actually, you know, use their creativity and imagination to bring this reality about, then we would have the ability to overnight change our whole entire reality. Now, and that's what's actually real, or at least that's my hypothesis. There's probably plenty of kinks and things wrong with that, but that, just like, take that for what it is, you know, use it for what you will. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's really visualization in a nutshell for you, or at least as well as I understand it, and hopefully that'll give you some steps to take with it. But for the rest of this video, I just want to kind of talk about, you know, my understanding of visualization, some things that I've used it for, and some things that I've applied it to my life for, and seen things actually come about, so that you understand better how you can do it. And again, some of these things may or may not work for you, and whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't know. What works for you works for you. What works for me works for me. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, just like, so some of the things that I use visualization for are visualizing a situation turning out a certain way. All right. So if I'm at work and we're having a super busy day and everyone's in a bad mood because it's busy, then I just picture everyone being super happy, being overjoyed, being super glad that they're at work. I picture cars stop coming into the drive-thru. I picture people stopping walking in the door. I picture that person who's on the way to this door turning around because he forgot his wallet. You know, I picture things like that happening, okay? And now, are any of those things actually happening? Probably not. I guarantee you the people aren't just going to be happy right away because you visualized it. I guarantee that the store isn't going to just be completely dead because you don't visualize anybody coming in. And more than likely, that person you just visualized, you know, losing his wallet or forgetting his wallet didn't forget his wallet and doesn't even exist in the first place, and you're just envisioning a car somewhere that isn't even there, right? But that's the pessimistic view from it. If you truly believe in the power of visualization and your ability to create your own reality, then as you're going through this process, you may start to see it come into reality because you along with the other 3 people that you're working with, or me, along with the other 3 people that I'm working with, we are collectively creating the reality of what's going on in our store. I mean, there's other people that are influencing it to a certain degree, but it's the 4 of us that are at that store that are primarily determining what's going on that night at the store, okay? And so, to put it into statistics, right? I'm 25%. I'm one of the 4 people at that store. And so 25% of the stuff that I visualize is going to be real, and 25% of the stuff that I visualize is not going to be real. And there's a 25% chance that what I visualize comes into reality, and there's a 75% chance that it doesn't. Okay? But then again, it has to break that 50% point. It has to hit that tipping point. So if 50% of the people are both visualizing it, doing the exact same thing, then maybe that's the tipping point, and it's just going to push over. But at the end of the day, some people still need to eat. Some people still want food, and so you really don't have complete control over the situation, right? And so that's the thing about visualization, is it allows you to have kind of the illusion, if you will, of control, all right? But at the end of the day, there's something else that's controlling it all. And so by visualizing something, you're sending a request into the universe and saying, hey, can you make this happen for me? Can this occur? All right. And you send that request out into the universe, and then the universe takes that request and it tries to give it back to you. However, there's a bazillion other requests coming in that the universe is trying to put into perfect assortment and perfect alignment with each other. And so what you want is not necessarily going to happen, but that's kind of how that goes. All right. And so now, visualization on a metaphysical plane. Instead of visualizing something physical and material happening, or an experience changing, you can visualize something that doesn't exist being there, right? And so an example of that would be just like, meditation is the best thing that I can use for it. Or here's a better one. You can visualize along with me. Visualize that the sun is on a energetic level. It is beginning to send out bursts of energy, okay? Now, these bursts of energy, they're not harmful in any way, so they won't do damage to anything. They're not necessarily good in the way that they're going to hit something and make it just become lovely or something like that. But what it is just kind of a overall feeling that it gives, okay? So what this energy is it hits anything that it touches, experiences temporarily a feeling of goodness, okay? And so this only applies to things that have feeling, of course, things that are being, things that are alive in some way or another. And so visualize with me, the sun is throbbing and it's growing and growing, and then it pulsates and shoots one, burst across the universe, and it just, boom, hits everything in the whole solar system. Sorry, not universe. Or if you want it to hit the whole universe, be my guest. But now, you picture something like that happening, right? And you may, for a second, feel a little bit better. You may get hit with something like, oh, wow. Like if you're actually doing the visualization, like I didn't feel anything because I'm just kind of trying to say it. But if you actually, in fact, let's take 30 seconds and actually visualize this, okay? And see for yourself if you're able to feel that actual burst of energy, okay? So where are you? Where is the sun? Where should it be in the sky? It's somewhere. Now figure out, pinpoint in which direction the sun's at, and now picture out of that radiating that energy and coming and hitting the earth and hitting everything on the planet with some kind of, every living thing on the planet with some kind of peace, with some kind of good feeling, okay? Okay, so hopefully you did that with me. Now, we probably all experience things slightly different. And I would guess that the one determining factor on whether or not you felt something versus didn't feel something is whether or not you believed that it was actually happening. Okay? And so, is it actually happening? Is it actually real? It could be. In the world of imagination, it did just happen. On a metaphysical plane, it did just happen. But can science prove that it just happened? Maybe. Maybe in certain scenarios. Maybe not, you know. And so it's when you picture something like that, when you visualize something completely metaphysical happening, it's like back to that percentage thing, you know. You're one out of, I think now, like 21 billion people on the planet. Maybe I'm wrong with that number, but it's something crazy like that. And so in a percentage thing, you're at 0.00001. All right. And so that wave that you just sent out of the sun, and I say you because you're the one who visualized it, you actually created its happening. It doesn't have the same power that you want it to have. It only has 0.0001 percentage of the power that you want it to have, okay, on the rest of the world, because the rest of the world does not know what's going on, does not know what just happened on a metaphysical plane of imagination and visualization, right? But you do know what just happened, and so you may get hit with the full effects of it, you see? So, one, you have to believe that it's happening. Two, the one who actually visualizes it has a bigger chance of having it happen. And three, it all is not controlled by you in the first place, because like I said earlier, it's all an illusion, and it's not necessarily you who controls when the sun does its bursts of love and good energy. It's, you know, something bigger, something more powerful that would decide something like that happening. And so you can send your request out to the universe to have that happen. Now, why would the universe decline that? Why would the universe say, no, I'm not going to do that? The only reason is if all the other people in the universe are not asking to have that happen and they're asking for it not to happen. However, I don't think there's a single being on the entire planet that would be against something like that happening. Just a good feeling for no reason. Like, yeah, that I want that. I'm sure a plant wants that and a fish wants that just as much as I want it. Like, it's not that great, but at the end of the day, it's not bad. It's still something good. And so, yeah, why not? It's something that I would like to have happen. And so, there's really nobody who's against it, but there's just a bunch of people who are unbiased. And those people who are unbiased, you know, they're kind of just like the victims of whatever you just did. There's a thing called the law of cause and effect. You are the one who just caused that happening, and they are affected by what just happened, because they're unbiased. If they were against you, then they would, you know, be a opposing force against you. And there's a good chance, or a 50-50 chance, that it would not happen. However, again, I don't think anyone would be against that happening, so there's probably not anybody who's against it. So it very well could have happened, and science can't really prove it. No one can prove it. But at the end of the day, did it happen for you? Because if it happened for you, then that's really all that matters, right? And so now visualizing something like your own success. Me, I want to be successful in a lot of different things. So I can visualize myself being successful in these things. Now, does it happen right away? No, there's a certain amount of time that needs to happen before it can come, before it can actually happen. All right? And so, I don't know. Just like, as you visualize things, it seems like as time passes, what you visualized gets closer, because it's like a buffering thing. You send your request out to the universe, and it has to think for a second. It's like, well, I have these requests and these requests and these requests and these requests. How can I make this happen? And no, I can't make it happen right now. Can I make it happen next week? No, because John. All right. Now, the week after that, yeah, I think I can make it happen, but I can only make it happen to a certain degree. I can't make it happen, exactly the way that you wanted it to have happen. And that's kind of how visualizing your success happens. As you visualize it every day, it gets closer and closer and closer and closer until it finally hits. And is it going to be exactly the way you visualized it? Probably not. But is it going to have happened? Yes. And now if you go tell somebody, the reason I'm here is because I visualized my success, they're going to be like, no, shut up. The reason you're here is because you ran into John, and John signed you to a record label, and then that record label produced your music, and they're going to talk on physical, real, scientifically proven terms. But at the end of the day, what happened? What happened for you? And so hopefully you see what I'm getting at here. Visualization it has the potential to be ridiculously powerful, especially when used in groups. But then again, is visualization a power that we even have, right? Because if there's something else in control of it all, then maybe everything we visualize is just automatically rejected because we don't have that kind of power, right? And so if you believe that you have that power, then it seems to work. If you do not believe that it has that power, then it doesn't seem to work. And so, I don't know, it's just like when you have any of the religions out there, you ask God, you say, God, Allah, whoever it is, Shiva, whoever it is that your God is, you ask them and you say, hey, I want, let's just say, for example, a red bicycle, okay? And so if you believe that you're going to get that bicycle, if you truly believe it, if you wake up every morning, you go outside and you see your bicycle and you're just overexcited, and you go and you grab the handlebar of this air. Remember, it's not really there, not yet. You grab this air of the bicycle and you move it around, and you can't really hop on it and ride it, but you can kind of like move it around and feel the way that it would feel, and you can do all these things to trick your mind into believing that it is real. And by doing that, you might just accidentally manifest it, depending on whether or not you believe you have that power or not. And so, do we have the power to visualize? I don't know, do you? I think that I do. And so I use it to try and create my success, and to try and send people in the universe and beings of life, good experiences and stuff like that. But it's really up to you. You can use it how you want. You can take it for what you want to take it for. But it is, in my opinion, a part of our being. It's something that we can use. And like I said, in certain scenarios, it has been scientifically proven. And so if you're very curious of the idea of visualization, then go look up some more videos on it, and I'm sure they'll be able to convince you. Much better than I am. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I can't really think of anything else I want to say along the topic of visualization. Plus, I don't want the video to get too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that was pretty good. Hopefully you can go ahead and, after this video ends, go ahead and take some time to visualize some things happening, play with it a little bit, begin to gain faith in your own power to visualize and manifest things into your reality. And I don't know, you might just be able to do it. And I don't know, last thing I want to say, like, you know, Jesus, we all know Jesus Christ, I hope. Now, Jesus Christ was able to walk on water. He was able to split bread. He was able to do all of these things, right? And now Jesus Christ, he's considered in the Christian religion a god. But in the Bible, in the Christian religion, it says that Jesus was stripped of his godhood and that he was just a man. And so what he came here to do was to show humans that they had the power to do this, to actually create miracles. Now, that seems to be something that the majority of Christians missed in the Bible, but that was kind of his message. Now, do you believe in Jesus? Do you have faith in Jesus? Do you believe that you can do that? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in your religion? Do you believe in the Buddha? Do you believe in whoever, whatever? You see how belief is one of the determining factors of the reality that we live in? And if you believe that you have the power to change the reality that you live in, then you do. And now you see that we are not just people, and we're much, much bigger and much more powerful than we had ever imagined, and how for literally 2,000 years, if not longer, this information has been hidden from us and kept from us and strictly taken out of the school systems and never spoken about. It's almost dangerous for me to be talking about these things, or at least it would have been a couple years ago. Now, who am I? There's Gandhi out there. If you want to kill anybody, go kill Gandhi. Don't kill me. But, yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's the end of the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you will go on this journey with me of self-awareness and explaining and showing other people their own internal power and who they really are and what they can really do. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys, and I will catch you later. Hope you have a great night, afternoon, morning, evening, whichever it may be, and peace out.